for MidNorth Promise Program. Tonight, we're going to be talking about all things college and planning and funding and how to get there and who's on the line to help you get there. So tonight we have from CLD, LaShawn Mabry, and we also have Jose Medina from CHE, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about 21st Century Scholars and how to access that funding. And then we also have Alexis Black from the Scholarship Expert. And if you're not familiar with Alexis, her and her husband actually went to college and didn't pay a dime because they spent most of their college years looking for scholarship opportunities and received over $300,000 in scholarship money. So if you're looking to go to school or your kids are looking to go to school, this is a great workshop to be a part of this evening. So I'm going to let LaShawn get started with her presentation about CLD. So LaShawn, just let me know when you're ready and I'll launch your PowerPoint.
Okay. You can go ahead and launch it.
Okay.
Let me start with an introduction. First of all, good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be participating in this presentation, and it's been exciting just working with Ms. Henderson on this project. My name is LaShawn Mabry. I'm the Assistant Director for the College Prep Institute here at the Center for Leadership Development. I also have two staff members who have been working with me on this project, Mr. James Borum, who is our college success coordinator, and I believe that he's reached out to a couple of staff people also with the Children's Museum. And then also Miss Anusha Ali. She is our internship and mentoring program coordinator through the College Prep Institute. And so both of these staff members work along with me in collaboration for this particular project. So I'm ready, Ms. Henderson, to go ahead and get started with the presentation.
Okay, sounds good. Let me make sure that I can do this right. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, great. So LaShawn, I'm gonna.
Okay, you could go ahead to the next slide.
Okay.
And so, and the next one I did the intro.
Okay.
Okay, so our agenda. So I just want to welcome you all. I'm going to be talking about the mission and purpose of CLD, which is the Center for Leadership Development. Our principles for success, which is kind of the overall mantra, or kind of our just our guide to our purpose here at the Center for Leadership Development. CPI, which is the College Prep Institute. Who are we? Our CPI mission, and then the three components of CPI, which are programs, initiatives, and services. I have a little bit about our parent information just to provide info for the parents that are on the line, some resource information, and then I'm going to wrap it up with some contact information from staff members here at College Prep Institute, as well as our emails that you can reach out if you have further information. Okay, so the mission of CLD. So overall, the purpose of CRD is we provide to minority youth here in Central Indiana experiences about personal development and educational attainment. Basically, we have a variety of programs and supportive services here at the Center for Leadership Development. We are in conjunction with our 52 partners who work collaboratively with us. Okay, our vision. So the Center for Leadership Development was established as one of the most preeminent centers in the nation. We inspire the highest character and leadership skills, as well as the highest academic, college, and career achievement in African American youth. Our mission. So CLD was founded in 1977 by Mr. Henry Bundles. Mr. Henry Bundles is no longer with us at this time, but he was our founder. And Mr. Bundles was instrumental in serving as the foundation, providing the foundation for the Center for Leadership Development. Okay, here you can see the principles for success. Like I said, is the mantra for the CLD programming, character development. And there is just kind of a definition of what we inspire our young people to have is integrity, discipline, respect for oneself, Purpose. Those character traits are vital to success for college preparation. Educational excellence. COD inspires, develops, and challenges youth to pursue the highest levels of academic and educational achievement. Leadership. COD here, we provide youth with the training as well as practical experiences required to positively lead and serve peers in their schools, churches, organizations, businesses, neighborhoods, as well as the community at large. Community service. We believe that a key component effective with leadership is learning how to serve and lead your people. COD demonstrates this commitment to our community service philanthropy by teaching youth the purpose and process for rendering those services. Career achievement. COD exposes youth to the many career opportunities available. College Prep Institute. Uh-oh.
There we go.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You're okay. So the College Prep Institute is a comprehensive community-based research center. Our primary focus is academic achievement, college preparedness for minority youth and families. We provide free services that advance college admissions, persistence, and graduation. So CPI, who are we? CPI was established in 2002. And again, we provide free services to our high school students using various programming efforts, which I'm going to talk about here shortly. Here is a list of our staff members, our team members, beginning with myself, Monique Anderson. I'll talk later about her. She's the manager of lab services. Ms. Stacy Southworth is our operational support specialist and admin. Ms. Mahogany Brown is our program coordinator for enrichment service. Mr. Borum, who is on the line for college success. Ms. Ali, she's our program coordinator for internships and mentoring. Ms. Samira Bongiovanni is also one of our program coordinators for college success. And Mr. Breland Davis is our program assistant who provides support to our program coordinators. So this is our CPI team. Okay, so the three arms of CPI: programs, initiatives, and services. Our programs, like we have our college prep, parents chat, which is basically geared for parents and just having a conversation. The college prep portion program is geared for, it's a 4-week program where students and parents gain knowledge from collegiate guest speakers. We do proper planning as well as campus life. This program also culminates in a college tour where we can just kind of provide information about college preparation. SAT prep. The SAT prep is a course, a 6-week program geared for test-taking strategies and practical training on improving math and written scores. So as you're preparing to get into college, we provide that service here. Success prep. Success prep is really valuable to our young people. That is run by Ms. Mahogany Brown. And in that class, it's a 4-week program that does in-depth high school readiness and also culminates into a college tour. The business orientation project, known as BOPS, that's actually coming in January 2021. And the business orientation project is an 11-week program created in partnership with IUPUI's Kelly School of Business. This connects students to minority professionals to gain knowledge of a real-world career planning, the global market, traits of an effective entrepreneur, and more. And then also Rawls Scholars Medicine Initiative. We have a partnership with Eskenazi Hospital. Unfortunately, at this time, that's been postponed, but that is one of our programs. Then we move on to our initiatives. One of our great programs is the Emerging Scholars Program, and Mr. Borum, who is on the line, that's one of his programming components. And I'll just share a little bit about that. The Emerging Scholar Program, basically, it's a 1-day experience. We have participants learn from COD's college partners about outside scholarships, how to apply for financial aid, and more. One of the prerequisites is the self-discovery, which I'll talk about later, which is a flagship program that you have to complete in order to participate. So some of the other initiatives, and I'll just read those, are Bowen, Chase, the Lilly Summit, our college prep conference and college fair, which is a huge conference that we usually have in the fall, and that focuses on college preparation. We have guest speakers and things of that nature, and we'd love to see you all participate with that. We have our role model advisor experience workshops in the initiatives category. Now, moving on to our services department, this is run by our manager of services, Mrs. Monique Anderson. And with that, we have one-on-one guidance counseling, our IXL, career coaching, tutoring, and we also do like essay critiquing and things of that nature. Okay, so again, the college prep program is our college readiness. I listed some of the programs. We have 4th through 12th graders that we service. And again, I'm sorry. Hello? Okay, so we service our 4th through 12th graders as well as parents with our lab services department. Okay, so the emerging scholars, we talked about that, financial aid and just learning more about that. College prep conference, that's another one of our initiatives that I mentioned previously, as well as Bowen, which is an engineering component of CPI that you're welcome to take part in. It's a collaborative effort with Purdue University. Mr. James Berwin also is instrumental in coordinating that effort. We have the Chase Youth Employment Summit, and this is very beneficial to our students. They learn about finance and business planning, as well as just basic careers surrounding finance and business. The Lilly Summit is compiled of 3 parts. We have a partnership with Eli Lilly, where 11th and 12th graders can participate in career possibilities at Eli Lilly through workshops, tours, networking, ending with possible internships and job opportunities. Okay, another component associated with our initiatives is our workshops. And so our workshops are operated by our champion, Ms. Mahogany Brown. We have 21st Century Sign Up, Champion Project, College Life 101, which kind of prepares you for what's it going to be like in college. HBCU, which is our historically Black colleges and universities component, private high school application process, where she also works with high school partners, as well as our STEM project. Okay, so our CPI services is run by Mrs. Monique Anderson. And as you can see, again, this just kind of gives you a time frame with when we have on-site and virtual settings for the services department. Monday through Thursday is 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Friday is 10 to 4, as well as our guidance counseling is virtual at this time. And we also have Saturday appointments from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The next slide will show Mrs. Anderson's contact information. She is the manager. Feel free to reach out to her. She'd be happy to make an appointment for you, parents and students. We offer services through our CPI lab. Here's a phone number that you can reach at 317-923-8111. Her email is there, manderson@cldinc.org, as well as you can send your QR code. Okay, so excuse me, I wanted to talk a little bit about the scholarship track. Excuse me. And so this is kind of just a breakdown, as you can see in 10th grade for our Emerging Scholars Program I mentioned earlier. We request that all participants complete the self-discovery portion. Excuse me. 11th graders, you can participate with self-discovery and go on to college prep. And then our Emerging Scholars Program, you're eligible in 12th grade. Another part of our scholarship program is our high school programming, where we have Revive, Cathedral, University, Park Tutor, and International. We have a partnership with them, and we do have scholarship eligibility through the programs here. How am I doing on time? Okay, we also work with 20 6 partners that are affiliated for our Emerging Scholars Program under Mr. James Borum. He is the point person for working with the college partnership. So feel free to reach out to Mr. Borum if you have any questions regarding this. I also wanted to provide some financial aid information. I'll just provide this to you all, basically for families who are interested. We work with InvestEd. Mr. Borum is the point person working with InvestEd for our financial aid with emerging scholars and things of that nature. And they provide a presentation on various things concerning financial aid as well with the emerging scholars. So here you can just see some details about how they assist students in paying for college and just providing some information on that. Educational costs, if you have limited resources or things of that nature, there's a number of grants and scholarships that are available, and they provide information or resources concerning that. Okay, again, here is the FAFSA, kind of gives you a time frame or just a timetable on how do you work with financial aid, the free application for federal student aid, in addition to the scholarships, just grants, work study loans, how to go about it, how to complete a FAFSA. So InvestEd is really instrumental in partnering with us and providing this kind of information. And here are some time frames as far as your high school graduation year, when the FAFSA is due, your academic year, when are you attending college, and just being mindful, like October 1st of this year was the deadline for the FAFSA. The next deadline coming in the upcoming year will be October 1st, 2021 for the following year. So just being aware of those deadlines so that you can get your FAFSA in on time. Okay, so state of Indiana and things of that nature. So I just want to thank you to our parents, to our students, to Ms. Anderson and Ms. Henderson, and to the entire Children's Museum program. We thank you for your partnership, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I'll put my email in the chat. And Ms. Henderson, thank you.
Thank you, LaShawn. So what we'll do, as always, Angelina will send out a copy of LaShawn's presentation so that you can have those resources available to you. So before we go into the question portion of our night, we'll go straight to Jose.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining on this Zoom meeting. So I have a short presentation as well. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now. I'm happy to share this afterwards with Ms. Henderson to share with anyone that's interested in it. Also, feel free to throw your questions up in the chat. I'm not going to be able to answer them while I'm presenting, but I can hang around afterwards and answer any questions that anyone may have. If it is a personal question, a specific situation, I'm not going to answer it just because I don't want your personal information out there. But I will ask you to contact me separately, and we can get together and we can figure out any issues that you're having. So while I wait, there we go. While I wait for that to load, again, my name is Jose. I'm with the Indiana Commission for Higher Education. We're the state agency responsible for state financial aid. I know our presentation is still loading. Pretty much what our task is to make sure that that students are able to get any state financial aid, scholarships, grants. Pretty much says it in a really fancy term there, but pretty much we're in charge of state financial aid, making sure that students get grants or scholarships to go to college or university, making sure that they get their money's worth. I know there's still a little bit of snow out there, and I know a lot of people don't like living here because of the weather. However, if you want money to go to college or university from the state, you live in a wonderful state for that. We give out more than $340 million in need-based awards. That's first in the Midwest, fourth overall in the nation. And our 2 largest state aid programs, first one being 21st Century Scholars, which I'll talk about in a good amount of detail, and the Franco-Banning Grant. Franco-Banning Grant is actually our biggest award that we have, amount-wise that we give out. However, 21st Century Scholars is the one that we give the most amount, is the one we're most well known for, the most popular one. So we have 4 need-based awards. These are the awards that we look at household income to determine if you're eligible for any of these awards. This is used in the previous presentation from CLD. She talked about the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. That's when we look at that financial information that you put on to determine if you can receive any of these awards. The Franco-Banning is just the basic financial need-based award. There's no specific application you need to do. We automatically check to see if you qualify for any money from Franco-Bannon. 21st Century Scholars, I'll talk about in a lot more detail. Just know that you can't use 21st Century Scholars and Franco-Bannon together. The state will give you the one that gives you the most amount of money possible automatically, so we won't go the cheap route, so don't freak out about that. Earn Indiana is our state level work study program. So for students that want to do a paid internship, so get workplace experience and help pay for other college costs, Earn Indiana is a wonderful program. And then lastly, the adult student grant. So for non-traditional students that have been out of school for at least 2 years and want to go back part-time to get an education after high school, they can receive up to $2,000 annually by just taking at least 6 credit hours per semester and going back to get an associate or a bachelor's. So 21st Century Scholars, this is a scholarship I talk about a lot just because it's most popular. It has a lot of specific deadlines, and it's the one that I feel is the most bang for your buck, usually people say. And there's a lot of specific deadlines you have to sign up for or someone can miss out. So a little bit of historical context on 21st Century Scholars. It's 30 years old. It was meant for students that wanted to go to college, university, and middle school, but didn't really know how to get there or how they're going to pay for it. So 21st Century Scholars goes to help and alleviate those things. Income eligible students have to apply in 7th or 8th grade. So that's one of the specific deadlines. Students have to apply between July 1st before their 7th grade year and before June 30th of the end of their 8th grade year. So they essentially have those 2 middle school years to apply. And then students who fulfill the Scholar Pledge, this is kind of their end of the bargain, which I'll talk about a little bit more, can earn up to 4 years of paid tuition at an Indiana State College. Some eligibility requirements for 21st Century Scholars. So this is when a student is applying in 7th or 8th grade. They have to be a U.S. citizen or eligible non-citizen. They have to be an Indiana resident just because it's a state program. They have to be enrolled in a 7th or 8th grade school that's accredited. Basically, that means that a student can't be homeschooled. And then lastly, they must meet family income guidelines. What that means is that they have to fall under a certain income annually, just when they apply, in order to qualify for the program. And there are a couple exceptions to this. So if a student is under court-ordered legal guardianship, doesn't live with their birth parents, they don't have to follow the income guidelines. They still have to apply in middle school. If a student is in foster care or considered a ward of the state, they don't have to meet the family income guidelines, and they can apply at any time between 7th and 12th grade. Here are the household income guidelines for this school year, the 2020-2021 school year. You'll see where the households has a 2. That's 2 people living in the household, including the student. The maximal annual income that the household has to be under qualify is $31,894. For each additional household person, it's an additional $8,288. And that could be anyone that lives there at the moment that they apply. So it could be a family friend, it could be an aunt, it could be a grandma, it could be a grandpa, it could be an uncle, anyone that lives in the household and uses resources from the home, whether it be heat, food, they all count towards that annual income. And again, to repeat myself, only when you apply, you have to meet these income guidelines. We do allow some income growth when a student is a senior in high school and they have to submit the FAFSA to determine eligibility. You can essentially double your household income and still qualify for the award at that point. But again, you just have to meet these income guidelines when you apply.
Jose, we have a question in the chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Kelly's asking, does the adult student grant require a separate application?
Yes, and I'll talk about how to do that application. Very good question. That's why I didn't say that it was you applied for it just by doing the FAFSA, because I was like, so only Franco-Bannon is the only one that does that, but I'll talk about it. I'll get there. So back to 21st Century Scholars. So let's say a student gets approved. They're in the program. The 21st Century Scholars Pledge, this is what a student has to do in high school in order to qualify for the awards and have to earn it. They have to graduate with at least a Core 40 high school diploma and a cumulative 2.5 GPA, grade point average. That's the graduating GPA. If their GPA is below 2.5 at any point before high school graduation, we don't kick them out of the program. We just send them a strongly worded email to be careful more than anything. They have to complete the Scholar Success Program to help them plan, prepare, and pay for college. I'll let that on the next slide coming up. They have to apply for college admissions and financial aid on time as a high school senior. Obviously, if you want money to go to college, university, you have to apply for college. I don't know why I keep saying that, because every now and then I get a question that someone is very surprised by that. Student has to refrain from using alcohol and illegal drugs or committing a crime or delinquent act. That's been there since the beginning. I don't think it's ever going to go away. Every time we try to bring it up, someone shoots it down in the state legislature. And then lastly, they apply for financial aid on time as a high school senior each year in college. And that's done when the student does the FAFSA at their senior year of high school and every year after that. So the Scholar Success Program, this is one part of the Scholar Pledge. It was the second bullet point that I said I would talk about later. These 12 exercises are things that any student interested in some type of post-secondary education is most likely going to do anyways. We just want to make sure that they actually do them. This program is designed in 2 halves. So freshman year and sophomore year, those activities are focused more on career and field of study exploration. So getting an idea for a student of what they would like to do or study in college or university. The next 2 years, it's focused more on the post-secondary transition. So getting ready for life after high school. Since I'm short on time, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but I am going to say that this actually, the Scholar Success Program and Scholar Track, which I'll talk about a little bit more, are open to all Indiana students, regardless of their 21st Century Scholar status. So if you are an adult student and you want to take advantage of the Scholar Success Program, so you want to say, hey, I want to take a career interest assessment. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. COVID-19 pandemic, maybe, change some things in my life. Feel free to take advantage of it. I won't give complete instructions on how to sign up for a Scholar Track account, but it is open to anyone that has an email address here in Indiana. So for the actual award, so let's say a student does all that in high school, they got approved in middle school, great, what do they actually get? So for students that attend a 4-year or attend a public university or state college here in Indiana, that includes anywhere from Ivy Tech to IU, Purdue, All State, Indiana State, the 21st Century Scholars Award will pay for 100% of tuition and regularly assessed. It won't pay for room and board, it won't pay for books, it won't pay for meal plans or parking permits, just because that's not offered at all Indiana institutions. So we can only cover what every single university statewide offers for students, which is tuition and fees, surprisingly. If a student's interested in a private school here in Indiana, so locally here, there's UIndy, Butler, Marion, we give those students the average 4-year cost, the average of a 4-year public university here in Indiana, which for this school year was $8,748. Proprietary school, something like Lincoln Tech, FRI, we give those students what Ivy Tech charges, which for this school year was $4,637 for the school year. And then there's tons and tons of opportunities, resources, additional scholarships for 21st Century Scholars. Those 3 private universities that I listed each have a scholarship for students to help them pay for the rest of the tuition. So it is like they're attending a public university cost-wise or tuition cost-wise. Public universities also have additional resources and cohorts and learning communities and scholarships for 21st Century Scholars to help them pay for the other college costs as well. So ultimately, as a 21st Century Scholar, we always tell students to always ask what else their university offers to them as a 21st Century Scholar. Obviously, college cost is a huge thing. We want students to consider it before they decide where to go to college or university. However, the most important aspect is where do they feel the most successful they're going to graduate with a degree and on time. That definitely should be the #1 factor when deciding a college or university for a student. Okay, we're done with 21st Century Scholars. Now we're moving on to something else. We have 8 other financial aid programs, and these are non-need based. So we do not look at household income to determine if we are going to give it to a student. Sorry, second time. All right, I have like 3 minutes. The National Guard Supplemental Grant, so for students that are in the National Guard in good standing, they get a tuition waiver. If a student is a child of a disabled veteran or a public safety officer that fell in the line of duty, they can also get a tuition waiver at a public school here in Indiana, so kind of like 21st Century Scholars. If a student graduates at least a year early from high school and then enrolls in a university or college, university, post-secondary institution right after, they can get a one-time $4,000 award, which is the Mitch Daniels Early Graduation Scholarship, which is kind of extra money just because it's awarded pretty late. Students have already paid a lot of their college costs. So any leftover money, we honestly just write a check to the student to use in any way that they see fit to help them pay for other college necessities. If a student wants to be a teacher, go into teaching right after getting their bachelor's degree for up to 5 years, we throw a whole bunch of money at those students. We're always looking for good teachers here in Indiana. The Next Generation Hoosier Educator Scholarship, that can be up to $7,500 each year for a student that's on track to graduate with something to let them teach for 5 years. If the student is African American or Latino, there's a Minority Teacher Scholarship, which you can also stack with that, and 21st Century Scholars or the Franco Benning Grant. And then there's student teaching stipends on top of it. So if you want to be a teacher, you get a lot of state program money thrown at you. The Workforce Ready Grant / Next Level Jobs, that's meant for students that don't want to go the traditional college route. So for students that say, hey, college isn't for me, I just want to get a certification or training in a high demand field that's higher paying, Next Level Jobs will actually pay for that training and certification for that student and select materials as well. So that's a wonderful program for anyone interested in just a training or certification, anywhere from 6 weeks up to 18 months. We have a special website just for that. All right, I'm not going to dive too much into Scholar Track. I'm just going to say that Scholar Track is our website, one-stop shop for all of state financial aid. So if you want any type of money to go to college or university, so for example, the adult student grant, the application is housed in the Scholar Track system. All of the other state financial aid programs are also listed in there. The Scholarship Success program is also in there as well. The 21st Century Scholar application is also in there. Pretty much if you want any type of money to go to college or university from the state, you're going to go on Scholar Track. That website is scholartrack.in.gov. If you are interested in any of this, please let me know in the chat. I'll throw you links just because I know we're short on time. Otherwise, I can talk for like 50 minutes. If you get hit with a whole bunch of teal, you're in the right place. Parents can have an account on there, so that's how they do the 21st Century Scholar application. Students have an account, that's how they do the Scholarship Success program and apply for all the other financial aid packages that we offer. Like I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail. Resources, I'm going to go over these fairly quickly just because I'm very short on time, I can tell. Learn More Indiana is a wonderful website with all types of information if you're interested in college or university, from saving for a newborn all the way up for an adult student that wants to go back and get a degree. Wonderful website, tons of information. Our 21st Century Scholars, we have specific websites for those as well. That gives you directions to 21st Century Scholars and any other info that I didn't touch. Scholar Track, all of our social media pages. We're leaning a lot on Facebook right now, just do our live sessions because we can't meet in person and do presentations live. And our YouTube is also really, really big just because that's where we upload our Facebook live sessions. And we've had videos before on anything from applying for 21st Century Scholars Program to applying to colleges and doing college visits, all that fun stuff. All right, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for tuning in. Again, my name is Jose Medina. I'm the outreach coordinator for the Central Region, just Marion County. My email is on there as well, also along with my phone number. Feel free to reach out if you need anything else. I'm going to go ahead and put these in the chat as well, just because I want to leave enough time for the next presenter and for any other questions that someone may have. Thank you so much and have a good rest of your night.
Thank you, Jose. So we'll move right on to Alexis. I think she's here. I saw her earlier. Did Alexis leave, Angelina? Well, I don't know what happened to her. She was here. I saw her when she came on. So in the meantime, if anybody has any questions for LaShawn or Jose or anyone from the CLD staff, this is a good time to ask those questions, and we'll wait to see if Alexis pops back in.
All right, so I think Kelsey Hamilton is wonderful. So if you have any further questions and I jump off and I didn't get my info, please reach out to her. She's very good about reaching out to me about anything. any questions or issues that people are having. So she said if I could go into a little bit more detail about the adult student grant, of course. So it is a state financial need-based award. So I talked about Scholar Track a little bit. So if you're interested, what you do is you're going to sign up for a Scholar Track account. So you go to scholartrack.in.gov, you sign up for a student account, and then you go to state financial aid programs, and it'll say financial aid. And then the application, I believe, is the second one listed. You do have to submit the FAFSA at the same time, just letting you know. The free application for federal student aid. It takes about an hour. I know when people hear FAFSA, they get really scared because it can be pretty intimidating. However, there's tons of help out there. CLD did a great job of highlighting Invested, who's wonderful at answering any questions they have. Any questions I have about FAFSA, I reach out to Invested because they're literally geniuses when it comes to FAFSA. So don't be scared about the FAFSA. And that's it, honestly. So depending on the FAFSA, what it says, your expected family contribution, your EFC, that determines how much money you can get from the adult student grant. So it goes anywhere from $0 to $500, to $500,000, $1,000 to $1,500, and $1,500 to $2,000, depending on the expected family contribution. The expected family contribution is what the FAFSA spits out, saying, hey, looking at your income and other financial assets, this is how much we can expect for you, because it would be an independent student, to help pay for your college or university. Based off of that is how they determine what scholarships you can get. So from the state financial aid side, from the financial government, so what you can get in loans, what you can get from the federal Pell Grant, and also what the schools can offer you as well. So the adult student grant is part of that, that we can offer you as well. So you can also qualify at the same time for the Franco-Banning grant. So there's no easy way. I'm actually going to dump a link in here because it takes you directly to the adult student grant if you're interested. That explains it in a lot more detail instead of me just rambling on. So,
I had a question.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I see on there, is it work as you go?
I'm not sure what that program. Can you tell me where you are getting the program?
I think, or you go or something. It was the last, on your last slide. I caught a glimpse of that. You said the student can work and they can get benefits.
Yes, Earn Indiana.
Okay, so I'm trying to see, is that scholarship more as they in school, can they attend like an apprenticeship and still get a scholarship like that?
Yeah, so
Because
that actually is just
my son does.
Yeah, so that's a great question. We actually have a database that goes over every single thing. So I said internships just because it's the easiest term for me to spit out. There are other things like job shadows, apprenticeships of that nature. I couldn't tell you what the difference is between all of them. All I know is you're getting work experience and getting paid for them. But there's a database that goes over every single thing that tells you, hey, these are what's offered in Indiana. You can go by city. It tells you the company, the organization, what the sector is. So because of the mission, because we're fans of it, we have some spots to be part of Earn Indiana and work with us and get college costs covered. But there's also someone like Roche that is also on there as well, that completely different sector than us in engineering, that can help you. If your student's interested in that, that's a wonderful program for them, that they can get that internship or apprenticeship, get that work experience, and also network and get to know that company. So they might possibly have a job once they graduate with college or university. Or
What about welding?
Yeah, so for welding, that's actually part of next level jobs, which I talked about a little bit more. If you're interested in just a certification or training, next level jobs actually has that. So I can drop that also in the chat as well. If you're interested in welding, because there are some welding programs that are available just as part of the training certification program. It's free if you have at least your high school diploma and don't have a college associate's the most. So if you're in that sweet spot of having a high school diploma and not any college education, you will qualify for next level jobs.
That's what I was asking, more of is that scholarship, would it be based off of that? Because my son, he's in high school and I know he's doing welding and that's where he wants to go. He
awesome.
said underwater welding. I was like, oh, that could be scary. But if you
I've
had
never
any
heard of that, it's awesome.
Right, that's what I said too. So like I was looking for like scholarships or something like that to help him along the way.
Awesome. Yeah, I could throw that in the chat. So I'm going to throw up the adult student grant first just because I have it pasted, our copies. But then I'll go back and put the next level jobs link on their source I didn't have. So
Thank you.
In the chat, you can find the adult student grant. So for anyone interested, non-traditional student that wants to go back at least for time, that link is on there as well. Gives you a little bit more information from our government side. And then I will throw in next level jobs for anyone interested in that. And I think, I want to say it's advanced manufacturing that the sector is under welding, but I can double check.
Jose, we have a question in the chat that says, does Scholar Track have resources for out-of-state schools like HBCUs, or are they just Indiana-based?
Yeah, so Scholar Track will have some very limited resources for that. So it's just mostly broadly there's a third exercise, or there's the third activity of junior year of the Scholar Success Program, searching for scholarships. Goes over pretty much how to look for national scholarships, because state money can't be used for HBCUs because they're done in Indiana. So that's why we don't really have anything specific for HBCUs here in Scholar Track. However, we're going to give more national tips more than anything. You'd be like, hey, if you're interested in going out of state, these are some wonderful tips on how to look for scholarships and other funding opportunities.
Pashan, I had a question for CLD. In one of your slides, it said that you served minority students, and then there was another one that spoke primarily about African-American students. Do you serve all minority students or just African-Americans?
We serve minority students. So it's open to minority students. Yes.
Hi there.
Also,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to give a shout out. I see that Mr. Yuri Smith is also on the participant list, and Monique Anderson, part of our CLD staff members. So he's over the manager of our satellite programming for those that are interested. We will be having satellites in the community. We're in the process of putting all that together. So we're really excited about that effort. Yes, ma'am.
I just had a quick question for Jose.
Okay.
With
ahead,
regard
Kelly.
to, thank you. With regard to the adult learning, what is it? The adult student grant and the Franco, I currently receive money from the Franco O'Bannon grant, or however that's called. Is there a limit for the amount for either one?
Yes, so there's a limit for either one. So I don't remember the top of my head what the Franco Bannon grant one is, just because it changes year to year. There's a grid that really established it. And Franco Bannon is really weird in the sense that the amount really varies depending on what school you are attending. So for example, private schools, Franco Bannon will give you more money than public schools, and then proprietary schools, it gives you very low money. So it really varies on it. I think it's 9,000. I want to say, I can look that up. The adult student grant is $2,000.
Is the maximum $2,000
For the adult student grant, yep.
Okay. So if I qualify for, or if I qualify for both of those, if I get a certain amount from Franco Bannon, would I still be able to potentially get the full amount from the adult learner? Because I'm learning as I'm going through this is my second year in school, and I'm learning that financial aid and grants and scholarships and all that stuff is really wacky when it comes to, I don't know if it's specific to IUPUI or what, but that's where I am. And so
It's
like
not
if
specific to IUPUI.
I'm sorry.
It's not specific to IUPUI. Financial aid, scholarships, grants are just very confusing. So
Yeah, and it's like if I get so much over here, then if I get a scholarship, then I don't get the full amount of the scholarship because the grants that I get reduced based on the amount of the scholarships. And it's like, well, okay, that's cool, but not really. So I'm just trying to make sure that I don't overextend myself and find myself not getting a maximum benefit, if you know what I mean, if that's what I qualify for.
yeah, definitely. So we automatically will, so through Scholar Track, there's gonna be kind of a drop down menu. We can see your financial award letters on all different colleges and universities across in Indiana that you applied for. We're automatically, the state's going to give you the most amount of money possible we can through the adult student grant and Franco-Bannon. We'll let you know exactly what you qualify for, because Franco-Bannon, you don't have to really do anything special to see if you qualify. Adult student grant, you just have to do the application. We'll let you know exactly what you can max out from either one and let you know why more than anything. So we're pretty clear about that and how the specifications are, how the breakdowns are. So let me go down real quick. Okay, so I have it open. Yes. So right here, you can't see it, but in the link, it tells you right there, the expected family contribution based off of what the FAFSA says, how much money you can get towards college or university on there. So EFC, I didn't do a good job of explaining it, but pretty much based off of what the FAFSA, the federal government, says you can pay for college or university on your own. Based off of that is how we determine how much money we can give you from the adult student grant. It does a good job of breaking it down. Once you submit your FAFSA, you get a confirmation page and it tells you what your estimated EFC is. So that's a pretty easy way of looking right then and there how much you can get from the adult student grant. There's also, I'm going to throw in the link for the Franco-Bannon grant in the chat as well. So you can see the grid, what that looks like, because that one also uses EFC and it's kind of like a, okay, let's line it up on this axis and this axis. And then there's a square in the middle that says, this is what you can get from the Franco-Bannon grant. So you can easily estimate it right now, how much you would get. Well, once you submit your FAFSA, technically. But yes, state financial aid, scholarships, grants are not easy things to understand. I always say, I only know this because it's my job. Otherwise, I would have no idea. It is very confusing and there's a lot of information and a lot of numbers. So it's totally understandable to feel confused and, and agitated, because I would too, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so I restructured my financial aid package based on my scholarship from the MidNorth Promise program, which was really bizarre in that they initially, before they received the check from MidNorth Promise, I was receiving this amount of money, and then and like I planned for that, and then when MidNorth Promise program sent the scholarship amount to them, they restructured that and said, oh, okay, well now you only qualify for this amount from this and this amount from that. And it's like, okay, well, that's silly, but whatever. I mean, I can't, argue with that or whatever, but that's why I asked the question that I asked, because I want to make sure that I know in advance what I'm working with. Or not.
And that's called the order of aid. So every single pretty much program or school or scholarship has an order of aid pretty much. So they say, hey, this is where this scholarship or this grant kicks in. So that's where it comes about. So I can't blame IUPUI for doing it, because everyone does it. So we do it with the Next Level Jobs Workforce Ready grant, which say, hey, if the federal government pays for some chunk of that, then we're not going to give you all that money. We'll just pay for the rest of it. We'll just put it off. Cool. That's pretty much the thinking behind it, is that if you're going to get money from this grant and from the state government, then great. Then we only need to give you this amount of money possible to cover the rest of your tuition.
She literally told me, we don't pay you to go to college. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, we just want your money. That's it. Which.
Thank you for the breakdown, Jose. I really appreciate that.
I'm glad.
I didn't mean to take up so much time.
You are fine. I believe you were waiting for Alexis, so you're totally fine. If anyone has any further questions, I mean, we have the chat from out, because I still think we're waiting for Alexis, right?
Yeah, and I've emailed her and I sent her a quick text and she hasn't responded. So I hope that she's okay. And we only have about 10 minutes left. So we'll take care of a few housekeeping things for MMPP and let you guys know about some things that are coming up. At the first of the year, we'll start talking about fall scholarships, and we'll begin taking those applications for the fall. So if you are currently receiving a scholarship from MidNorth Promise program, or you want to start receiving a scholarship from MidNorth Promise program, those applications will be available probably mid-January. So we'll start getting those in and trying to get them processed for the fall. If you are already receiving a scholarship, you'll do the renewal application. If you've not received a scholarship before, then you will do the complete application. And then also keep in mind that we have the workforce scholarship application that is on a rolling calendar. So we take those applications for that scholarship every 2 months. Each scholarship award is $2,500, which is awarded on a semester basis. So we do $1,250 in the fall, and then we do another $1,250 in the spring, depending on which scholarship that you qualify for. The Workforce Certification Scholarship is $2,500 as well, but we pay up to $2,500. So if the class that you're taking for the vocational or the workforce scholarship is less than $2,500, then that is what we will pay. We send those checks directly to the university, college, or vocational school that you will be attending. And any money that's left over, once it gets to the school, they will normally call us and ask what we want them to do with the extra funds, and we'll normally just tell them to send them to you directly. So that's the first thing. And also for those of you that have received a scholarship, in order to send out your spring semester payment, I'm going to need a copy of your fall transcripts or your registration for the spring, showing that you're in good standing with the school and that you're already registered for the spring. Many of you have already sent that to me, but if you have not, please get that to me as soon as possible so that we can get your second semester payment sent to your school as quickly as possible. For those of you who have questions about our scholarship, please keep in mind that there are no income guidelines. The only requirement is that you are a participant in the MidNorth Promise program and that you live in the neighborhood, and more than one person in your household can be receiving the scholarship at the same time. So you could potentially have your whole family going back to school and everybody's getting their education paid for, or at least they're getting a supplement to help pay for their education. So that is one of the things. Also, recently we opened up a barrier buster application, and we'll be taking those applications through March. So if you have been negatively affected financially by COVID, the museum is here to help. So we are offering internet scholarships, Chromebooks to help pay utility bills, and grocery gift cards. You have to fill out the application and show proof and that you of the expense, as well as that you have been negatively affected by COVID. So we are grateful that the museum has allowed us to be able to do that. So if you have any questions about that, please reach out to myself or Kelsey so that we can get you going. The last thing is today I got most of the pajamas that people signed up for delivered. If you did not receive them today, I'll be back out and driving around the neighborhood like a mad woman on Tuesday to deliver the rest of those pajamas. If you did receive them today, I left them on some porches because we want to make sure that we socially distance as we make those deliveries. So those are a few things that are going on at the museum. Please keep in mind that the museum is open on Christmas Eve until 2 p.m. So most of you, if you're in the MidNorth Promise program, you have free museum membership. So we're asking that you come visit. It's probably one of the safest places that you can probably be right now in the city of Indianapolis. We have all kinds of safety protocols in place at the museum to make sure that we keep our guests and staff safe. So that's kind of what's going on in our neck of the woods. Does anybody have any questions for any of our speakers or any of the MMPP staff? No questions, it's radio silence. So Angelina, if you want to launch your poll, we can do that.
Angela, is it okay? I'm sorry, I did have.
Okay, go ahead, Danielle, I'm sorry.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I'm fully understanding what Kelly was talking about earlier, and the situation that she experienced once she got the MNPP scholarship with her financial aid, her FAFSA money. So I've applied to several different scholarships and intended on applying to the MNPP as well, which is coming up. So let's say I get all the scholarships that I've applied for, if it completely covers tuition, will they take the FAFSA completely away? Because there is a certain level that I am counting on towards being able to pay my utilities and, my different financial obligations that I expect the certain amount that I'm getting from FAFSA. And so I guess, is that gonna decrease based on the amount of scholarships that I get accepted for?
Jose, can you answer that? Or LaShawn?
Loosely answer it. I can't give a specific answer just because that's a very specific question and I would need a lot of info and yeah. So the FAFSA is just the application for state aid, so or for financial aid. So it's not an actual scholarship or a grant. It honestly depends on the order of aid. So I don't know how the MNPP scholarship works. Do you all just write that or send the funds or check straight to the college or university?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, so that money is given to the college or university, and then what happens is the state government works the same way. We give that money straight to the college or university, and they help cover those college costs first than anything. If I'm thinking like a university or a college, I'm automatically going to use that money first of all to help cover tuition and room and board or whatever, any other fees that are tied to your tuition or college. Help cover that, because then as a college or university, then it's less money I have to give you, to be honest. So that's the thinking behind that's what college universities do it that way, because they want to spend the least amount of money possible that we can. So it honestly, I can't give you a good answer. I would say monitor your financial aid award letters through the college or university, because those are going to specifically detail what you're getting. Anything's going to go first cover also look at your bills from the university or college, how much they're going to charge you for everything. So look at tuition, look at related fees, mandatory fees, anything else you have to pay for. If there's like a sporting fee, there's always little things. And definitely take that amount and then see what else they offer you. So grants, anything from the state government. So the federal Pell Grant as well, that's going to be used up by the schools first, and then see what else. So MNPP scholarship will also go cover that. So anything left over after that, the school will probably help cover through their general scholarship, and then there's still money left over, they'll give you that result back. So there's no good way to answer that because I just don't have information in front of me. But it's definitely going to affect, based off of the order aid, how much money you're going to get back. Just assume that any money that goes straight to the college or university, you might not get, because the college or university is going to use it up first to cover those bills and try to give you the least amount of money possible back.
Right. So I'm already in school, and I already have applied for the FAFSA, and I do receive the Frank O'Bannon and Pell Grant.
Mhm.
So my question is, if I am accepted for these different scholarships that I have applied to, will they decrease that award because I've been applying and have accepted other scholarships? Does the Pell Grant get decreased? Does the Frank O'Bannon, does that all decrease?
Those do not. No, everything else might decrease based off of the school, how much money they're going to give you out, but no, those will top out. So if the Frank O'Bannon grant, so from the state, we say we're going to give you, let's say you top out at $9,000, we'll give you the $9,000 or less if it covers the rest of the tuition. So for example, I'm going to go with Ivy Tech just because I know that amount off the top of my head. If you qualify for Frank O'Bannon, let's say you qualify for the full 9,000 Frank O'Bannon, which it's not going to happen because it's a private school amount. But you qualify for 9,000 at Ivy Tech, but Ivy Tech only charges $4,637. Frank O'Bannon is only going to give you $4,637 because it covers the cost. Frank O'Bannon is not a program that gives you the refund back, whatever's left over. The federal Pell Grant, however, it will be cashed back out to you. You'll get a check for that if everything else is covered, because that's how that Pell Grant works. But the amounts won't go down unless everything is covered. So that makes sense.
Right. So if my scholarships completely cover tuition, will I no longer qualify for the Pell Grant?
You won't. No, the federal Pell Grant is just money that you just get. Only if it's financial need based. Yeah, and that's flexible. You can use that however you like, pretty much. That means if, let's say, like I said, if the Frank O'Bannon grant covers all of your tuition and fees and you don't have to pay anything else at the school, then that federal Pell Grant, that couple $1,000s is yours to use however you like.
Okay, and so the scholarships won't affect that either? I guess that's
No.
Okay, so I would still qualify for that, and they're not going to take it away just because I'm applying for scholarships.
So I can't speak confidently on that just because I don't know what school you're going to, and I don't know the situation, and I don't know the school's order of aid. But it goes over like order of aid. So I can only confidently speak from the Frank O'Bannon grant that covers tuition and related fees, and then it goes up to the full amount. That's all I can say. That's the only thing I feel confident in saying because it's our program and I know it.
Okay.
I hope that somewhat helped.
LaShawn, you had you have your hand raised?
Yes, I'm off mute. I put a few things in the chat regarding our programming. Someone asked about our college partners relative to historically Black colleges and universities, and we do partner with 2 Central State University in North Carolina, A&T State University are two that we partner with. I also put Mr. James Morham's email. He handles the college partner collaboration as part of his portfolio with CLD, so feel free to reach out to him. Also, I wanted to just put in the chat regarding our workshops, the questions regarding financial aid. We have a workshop that's going to be held January 12th, 2021. So feel free to go to our website, and I put that in the chat regarding the registration process. You can go to that and sign up. The champion of that is Miss Mahogany Brown. She is hosting the workshop. So feel free to go out. You can also reach out to her. Her email is there also. So those programs, I also put in there about our parent chat, which is one of our programs we have for parents, an opportunity just to network and just kind of learn, things for yourself as well as your student preparing for college. You get a chance to kind of conversate with other parents. So we offer that as well. That's going to be held February 4th, 2021. So feel free to sign up for those workshops and reach out to us if you have any more further information about our programming.
Thank you. And on that note, just to piggyback on something LaShawn said, please keep in mind that for the MMPP scholarship, it does not have to be a state school. When you guys mentioned HBCUs, I wanted to mention that we have 2 students in our program that attend HBCUs. We have one at Bethune-Cookman, and we also have a new scholarship recipient who is going to North Carolina A&T, I can't say it right. So just keep in mind that we are not limited to just state schools with the MMPP scholarship. And also for those of you who go to IUPUI, also keep in mind that they add an additional $500 to your account once they receive the scholarship from the MidNorth Promise program. So if you go to IUPUI, please make sure that you're checking your account balance to see that they are adding that $500 in. Kelly, you're shaking your head. Have they not been adding it?
Well, the thing that is happening, or the thing that happens, which is the thing that happened, is that when my scholarship money came to IUPUI's Bursar's office, all of the numbers for my packet shifted and changed. So that when the check that you guys sent for $1,250, I only received $650 as a refund of that, which I was expecting the whole $1,200 because of the way that my financial aid fell out.
Right.
Based off of, I'm going to use a very generic situation. Okay, so I got $1 from financial aid packet. Then I got $1 from whoever, the dollar from from IUPUI matching MidNorth Promise. And then I got my MidNorth Promise $10. Well, because the $2 up here covered everything that needed to be covered, and in essence, I had already received a refund based off of what was the surplus. I was then expecting the $10 that came from you guys to then also be refunded to me. But what they actually did was say, oh, okay, well, you have some new scholarship money coming in. We're going to rearrange this money up here. This one and two, these two pieces, we're going to rearrange those to accommodate this $1,200. And so instead of getting the full $1,200 refund, I only got half of that. Right. because of order of how, I forget how Jose phrased that, but that's basically what the financial officer told me, is that and she literally did say, we don't pay you to go to college. Like,
wow.
It's great that you have all of these resources, but you don't get to have all of that, because depending upon how much money you're given, you only are going to get so much.
You know what, Kelly? I'm interested to talk to someone else who I know goes to IUPUI and receives our scholarship to see if she had the same experience. once I talk to her, I'm gonna have Kelsey reach back out to you and let you know what I find out.
Okay, because
'Cause
it was very I was not prepared for that. I was not prepared for that.
I understand, because I'm having attended school recently myself, when you're expecting a certain amount to come back, you're expecting that amount to come back and you budget
Right.
around that. So
Right.
I completely.
And that's why I was saying to Danielle, if you're going, was it Danielle that was asking? I was saying to her, you know, our in the chat and saying, where are you going to school? You need to get that straight first, because
Mhm.
it is not what you think it is.
Yeah,
Or
because
it's not, potentially is not going to be what you think it is.
And I
right.
appreciate that, Kelly. I didn't actually see that until just now, but thank you.
No, it's
Yeah.
fine.
And then the other thing that I wanted to tell you is that, so IUPUI matches and Ivy Tech will start matching in 21, 22. They're going to be writing matches into their budget. So it's not been like officially announced, but the person that I communicate with told me that they were adding that in the budget, so that they too can start doing a $500 match for the MMPP scholarship at Ivy Tech. But Kelly, I'm going to talk to.
I did get that. I did get it last semester.
You did get the $500?
Yeah, I mean, there was a whole lot of going on, but they finally figured it out and somehow or another worked it out to where I could get I think it was only like $400 something of that $500. But I mean, it's I don't understand it, and I don't
Yeah.
which is one of the reasons why I have not applied for any other scholarships, because I don't know how to do that effectively and get the maximum benefit available.
Okay.
So,
all righty. So yeah,
I'm
I'm gonna talk to Marcia, because she's the one that actually attends IUPUI too and gets the scholarship, and find out how. And she hasn't said anything to me, so I'm curious to know if she's been affected the same way. So that's so with that, that's all we have.
Amy has a comment because she wrote something.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, Amy.
No, I don't know. Every school, I'm sure, is completely different. So this may or may not be helpful. But the school I'm currently enrolled in will let you order your books almost with them as a second party, right? So, and I could use money that was credited to my account to purchase my books, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a big help for me. So I don't know if that would be something that like Kelly and Danielle could work out, and some of the other students. And I'm sure that is very variable, but that's a potential maybe, like to do some books or other expenses.
I was able to get my books. I was able to get my books through my Bursar account. That wasn't
Okay.
So everything was thrown into one pot, which was fine. It's cool. Like it's okay to do that. In fact, that seems to be the most efficient way to do it. But then what happened? I don't need to explain it again. So there you go.
So Angelina, I'm going to let you launch the poll because we're at 7:09. So if you guys could take this poll for us, that'd be great.
So I'll give about 5 more seconds and then I'll stop. Going once, going twice.
Where is it? How do we do it? I can't find it.
Did you need to complete it?
How do you do it? Where is it?
Did you see it on my screen?
This should have popped up on your screen, Kelly. Did you see?
Oh Lord, have mercy. No, I don't know what I'm doing. See, I'm confused.
You want me to relaunch it so you can
Please.
complete? Okay.
I'm sorry. Hold y'all up.
No, you're fine.
Where do I see it?
No, because I lost it. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
I'm trying to save it because if I
Oh,
relaunch,
I
it,
see.
I
I
lose.
got it.
the results.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I mess you up, Angelina?
Can you guys just do it one more time, everyone, again, real quick, please? Thank you.
I just did it.
Okay.
Okay.
This is so cool. Zoom is the bomb.
All right. I'm gonna end it in 1, 2, 3. Now I'm ending it. We're good?
Yes, thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, guys.
You guys have a good night.
You as well.
Night.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, y'all.